Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Lorraine Lopez Loves. This week I got co-host Martha Lay in the building.
I got promoted.
She went from double guest to host. And we have comedian, she does stand-up comedian, memes, Meredith Jacqueline.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's going to be really fun. It's cool because Martha does memes and I do stand-up, so this is kind of like a mix of all. Well, she does it all. She does it all. Yes.
She's a woman of many traits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what did you start doing memes first, or how did that?
Yeah, that kind of, it was sort of accidental. Like, I basically saw one of my random tweets kind of take off, and so then a handful of other people that were meme accounts and stuff reposted me and sort of kind of were like, hey, you're funny, you should do this. So I started doing that, and around the same time I started doing that, I had a couple of friends who also did comedy that were like, you're a great writer, you're really funny, you should try comedy. And I actually really kind of resisted doing any stand-up for a while until a friend of mine who hosts a lot around town, Todd Dorham, he basically put my name on a flyer and was like, oh, well, you're doing it, so... Like,
Awesome.
it's just like,
It wasn't optional.
no, it was just like, here, no, you're doing a show, so prepare 5 minutes. And
awesome.
yeah, and I had a great time and did really well, so I was like, fuck it, I guess I do this too now.
Nice.
Just add it to the resume.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So do you, like, when people started reposting your tweets, do you remember, like, any big names or anything that were like, oh my God, that's so cool, like somebody reposted me? I feel like people call me out and I'm like, it's so old now, like it doesn't matter.
Right.
But in the beginning, I remember being like, oh my God. I still have never been reposted by like the Fat Jew or Jerry.
I want to say, well, Daddy Issues posted me one time. The Handy J used to.
She loves you.
Yeah,
She's
we're
amazing.
actually good friends.
She lives in LA.
Yeah, I actually
Okay.
just talked to her today. She reposted me. And then I guess kind of as time went on, like some other large accounts, Insta Single,
great.
White People Humor, some of them, they started kind of like shouting me, and that sort of just snowballed into whatever it is. I did, though, got my account deleted over the summer.
We were talking about that. We were like, I was like, I don't know if she ever got it back. I don't think she did.
I never got it back, but I just started over. And so, but
you've grown really fast.
Yeah,
And what it got it deleted? Was there what specifically?
Well, so I also do a little bit of adult work, and I basically got in trouble for saying that I sold nudes, and that's against terms of service.
Really?
Yeah.
But don't you still do that?
Yeah, but I don't specifically say those words, and so I'm like getting by on a technicality.
Oh,
Yeah.
smart.
Who knew
Yeah.
that wasn't legal? To sell nude pictures.
It's in their thing is no solicitation of pornography or prostitution, which is really fucking stupid because Pornhub has an account. Like literal porn stars have Instagram
Literally
accounts.
all of them. Yeah.
So like
They're crazy. Instagram is so crazy. Like
Yeah.
I think they definitely pick and choose who they.
100%. Well, and they basically, I found out from some other girls I know that are actually like escorts or porn stars or whatever. They were like, oh, they flagged you as a sex worker, so they're paying attention to everything I post. So I have to be super careful. It got ridiculous with the things that were getting deleted. I had a picture of me in a bikini top deleted, and I was like,
a lot of it's for charity work. She does this
Yeah.
thirst trap thing. She's a saint over here.
I'm using my tits and ass for a good
Yeah,
cause.
Exactly. Wait, so what can you say? What are the words you can say?
So basically now all I do is I say to subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Okay.
Because OnlyFans is not explicitly an adult website. It actually was started, the biggest OnlyFans account I think is like a fitness account. And so that's what it started out as. But because they don't like have censorship really, it's a safe space for adult workers to be able to make money and post their content. And, you know, you can select whenever you set it up like that your content's going to be 18 and up only.
Right.
So,
and the the basis of OnlyFans is like they are like subscribing to you, and is it like a flat fee to subscribe to you? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So I have like a
cool.
monthly fee, and that gets you access to everything I post.
Yeah.
And then people can tip me through there, or if I can send
A
message.
Venmo request?
Well, like I can send like if I want to send like an extra message that they have to pay a couple extra dollars for. I can have like send out a message to everybody that if they want to see it, they can pay extra. So yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. So wait.
It's a pretty nice racket that I got going.
But the fact that you're telling me that you don't actually have to send nudes, can you be cooking, like a cooking channel?
Oh, I mean,
and people will subscribe to it.
I know that there are some like fitness accounts on there that's what it is like people getting their like meal plans and workout plans and stuff. I know that's a big part.
Very cool.
But you know, all of us sluts on the internet kind of.
How much do you get? How much do you get for a picture? Like, what is
Well,
the normal?
so it's not per post. My monthly,
wait,
it's
what?
$15.99 a month to subscribe.
Okay.
So
yeah,
then,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
amazing.
And then I'll do sales sometimes, or I'll be like, okay, for the next day, your first month is half off, or whatever. I'll probably do a Super Bowl Sunday sale.
Oh my God. Do you do a BOGO?
I have a referral special. If you refer somebody, you get a month
You are
free.
such a businesswoman. I respect the hustle.
Wow.
Ultimate hustler.
I have been researching how to sell feet pics because that's the level that I can go to. You know, my feet they can be cute.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they would bring in the bucks like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
no.
I think that's where it's at.
The feet guys, like for me, that's not my genre. But I saw there was like a girl that I saw on Twitter the other day who got paid.
Like, what the
I love it.
I think he subscribes to you. Do you recognize him? I'm just kidding.
Like on his phone, pulling it up.
He's like, hold on. No, we can put it up.
No, some girl tweeted the other day that she got paid like $1,000 to dip her toes in grape jelly and send a video of it.
Stop.
Someone DM'd me today and asked if I could make a video of the bottom of my feet. The feet guys will pay. So
The feet guys are
That's
rolling.
so
yeah,
crazy.
the feet guys will pay. When I saw that tweet about the grape jelly thing, I was like, "Yo, I will dip my toes in any condiment. I do not care. DMs are open."
Damn.
That's a good tip for all the
Money
other
is, guys.
sounds out there.
Yeah.
I'll put my toes in some peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's been on your mind.
guacamole.
Yeah, you
Whatever.
would like it, I think.
Then it would become like more for you than
Yeah.
for them.
Oh my God, it's true. It's pleasurable.
But the money, yeah.
It's a win-win,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you for the business advice. I appreciate
Yeah.
Me and Lorraine were saying, like, I feel like I heard you have a segment where you were like, I never get any dick pics. And I didn't know that about you until I listened. And I was like, I literally have never gotten any, which is.
But you normally don't post any pictures
Exactly.
of yourself.
Like, I wouldn't, like, it'd be weird to send a meme account a dick pic. I get that. Like, that's weird.
It still happens.
Yeah.
No, I know. But so I'm like, is there something wrong with this? Like,
Yeah, I've never gotten a
please
dick
don't
pic.
send any. This is definitely
yeah.
not a cry for help at all.
No,
but
I
I just was
definitely
like,
don't want a dick
this
pic.
was more of a segue into like, I can't even imagine what Meredith's DMs look like.
Oh, God, it's a dumpster fire in
Wow.
there, really.
Yeah.
I just like screenshot and sent one to someone today that it was just like, actually, okay, I'm going to read you one of my DMs
Oh my
right now.
God.
It's,
Well, they make me mad sometimes when you do call out some really bad ones. I'm like,
sometimes they're really mean and
Yeah.
like really aggressive, and I'm kind of like, what in the hell is going on? Okay, so this one, this is a DM that I received yesterday. It says, I love it. It fascinates me. It excites me. That ass, those giant buttocks, that huge ass of yours makes me fall in love. I also only come up with obscene thoughts of making you mischievous, mommy. Greetings from Caracas. Beautiful woman with a voluptuous ass.
Oh my gosh.
that's poetry.
Do you respond to that? Or
I didn't. I'm trying to think of
amazing.
just the right words to
Wow.
You're like, that's going to cost you
You're like,
$20.99.
$13.99. Do you have your MasterCard ready? From Curacao? Is that what you said?
It's like Caracas.
Caracas.
Venezuela, I believe.
You're an international sensation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And then some of them are like will be really aggressive. Like what I got one the other day, it was like, I would love to make you squirt and come on my cock. And I'm like, you know what? How about asking how my day's going?
Yeah. Be like, I
You
had
know
a long
what?
day.
Like,
Can you ask me about it?
You skipped a couple steps there
Yeah.
before we get to that.
Right. These
No,
people.
what do they think's gonna happen?
I
They're
know.
like you're gonna have. I don't get anything interesting, but I did have one guy. But I will talk to people like normal.
Yeah.
You know, if they're like, oh, I'm gonna come to a show or this, and I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, come to the show, whatever. But then they're like, hey, do you mind if I get your phone number? Can we talk directly? I'm like, no, I put my comedy stuff up there. That's as crazy as it gets, guys.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Mary's like, that's child's play.
No, and I will talk to people who are totally normal in the DMs. Of course, I get asked out a lot, and like a lot of times it'll be like, "Hey, let me take you out for drinks." Sometime, and it'll be like an account with no profile picture who has given me zero
You're
information,
like, sure,
and
this
I'm like,
sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
This
like,
is
yeah.
not
murdered.
sketchy at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine.
Have you ever actually taken anyone up on a date or anything?
Oh,
from,
I've dated guys from the
nice.
DMs.
Wow,
Yeah, multiple.
It works, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
But,
how do they
like,
get?
don't give
How do they
up.
get you?
well, number one, they were all really hot,
Okay.
so that's
Yeah.
Wait, so you've
A
never
hurdle.
been catfished in the DM then? Because that's pretty
Um,
impressive, right?
no, not really. But I'm pretty like before I would ever actually meet up with somebody, and same for like dating apps. I like make them like
Take
send
a
me like
picture,
a video or something, or FaceTime me. Like I'm pretty like
yeah, that's smart.
good. Or I will like get their number and then have my friends who are like crazy FBI and
that's
just like go
smart.
research them, so I
Yeah.
know that they're legit. So I haven't really run into it too many. The worst that's ever happened is like a guy just like wasn't as hot in person
Yeah.
or something, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I have met
yeah.
guys from the DMs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you ask somebody to FaceTime you to see how hot they are, you also have to be on FaceTime, and I don't.
I would not live
FaceTime
up
is
to
my
that.
worst. My
I-
worst enemy.
I know like the exact right angle
That's
to
the thing.
hold the phone
You're-
for my
yeah.
FaceTime. So if I'm in control.
No.
Like
I feel like I need like a selfie lesson from you. Like,
Yeah, can we do that after
she knows
this?
all the angles. She hits them all. It's impressive.
I bought like a whole studio ring light for my apartment and
Oh.
stuff to like do.
I have a mini one for my selfie stick, but
Yeah, I bought like a whole big one
Oh.
to do like professional looking and like a whole backdrop area for my in my apartment.
Oh my god.
how much does that cost? Like a ring
I
like
think
that?
the entire I literally the entire
Why
setup,
not, right?
the whole setup. The ring light also has like a thing to put my phone in, and came with like a Bluetooth like shutter thing. The whole setup was maybe $200. So like
That's not bad.
yeah, it was not crazy.
That's a good investment.
Mhm.
That's paid itself back
oh 100%.
many times.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the memes, because I was looking up some memes of yours, and I love that they're very open and honest and real. The one that I read today was you were like, I went on a date with this guy. I was on my period, and I was wearing Spanx, and I needed to get a bikini wax, but we still had sex and et cetera, whatever. Just don't give up on your goals. Like that was so like it's good.
It's inspirational.
It's Hashtag
You know,
inspirational.
I'm just here to be a motivator.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a motivational speaker.
But it's also just being completely
Yeah, like,
honest.
totally
Brutally,
real.
people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy
love
that
that.
it was about, this was like 4 years ago that this happened. The guy that it's about, he DM'd me. He was like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
stroll down memory lane.
Oh my gosh.
You should have been like, I was talking about somebody else.
That wasn't you. I feel like that is definitely like you have people, probably
yeah.
all the guys think that it's about them.
Probably, but that one was like,
Oh,
it
no,
was
not that. So
really
not be about that
specific.
specifically. No,
Oh, but I
mean-
have. Oh my God, I have before. I've had a guy before be like, was that about me? And I was like, don't flatter yourself. Like,
Yeah.
get over it.
I once did when I first started doing stand-up, and then I hooked up with a stand-up right when I was starting, and I saw him do a set, and he did this whole thing about this the girl that I'm dating is crazy, and all these like you know, like self-help books and rocks and this and this and this and like, and I was totally thought it was me, even though how generic that is to Los Angeles. And I remember being like, wrote a joke about him just to be like, and I wrote a joke about you. And then I asked my other friend who was a comedian, he goes, oh no, he's had that joke for years. I was like, oh, I'm not special. I'm not the crazy girl. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be relieved or upset.
Right.
I would be like mixed emotions.
I did have mixed emotions, yeah.
It's like that, like when you find out you're a narcissist.
Like everything's not about me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And how does it affect like your memes and also like comedy wise? Because I'm sure you talk about like personal stuff. Does that affect your dating life? Do men like it or do they not like it?
It does affect it in that it kind of weeds out the weak. You know, like I have had before a guy have kind of get uncomfortable after the fact. Like at first he thought he was cool, but then like kind of get uncomfortable later. And I was like, okay, well, sorry. Like I'm not going to change. You liked me at first, so you don't get to just like say you don't like it now. Like,
And they already knew you from your Instagram, right? So it's from that, or do they get to know you and then see all that other
kind
stuff?
of both
Okay.
scenarios. But I'm super upfront. Like when I meet a guy, go on a date with a guy, I'm like, yeah, this is what I do. This is my shit. So just putting this all on the table up front.
Yeah.
If you're not down with that, that's fine. No hard feelings. But that's just kind of like how things are. Guys do. I have had a guy come to see one of my shows one time, and like I could tell he was like visibly anxious, like about what I was about to say, because I was like, well, I have a joke about getting cream pied, so and it's not about you.
And it wasn't your cream pie.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
But I think it just kind of weeds out the weak, and it also weeds out guys that aren't gonna have my same sense of humor, or that I wouldn't, want to stick it out with in the long run anyway. So
No, you have to have someone that like supports what you're doing.
Yeah. For sure.
Taking it all in.
No, I'm in a new relationship. It's been like 5 months, probably 5.5 months. But no, he is definitely not like, I can't even mention any previous relationship or anything because he's very sensitive about that kind of stuff. So he can't see any of my stand up or listen to this podcast. But he's a sweetheart, and I really need. It's a weird transition for me because normally I'm so overly. I'm very open about everything. So I'm trying to like not lose who I am, but also like realize not to cross the line with him.
Yeah.
Or not let him see anything that I do.
Yeah.
Is there anything that like you could maybe start talking about that you aren't incorporating? I'll talk about your family more because they
well, I'm trying to do more about like ISIS,
general war torn.
Classic, just classic.
classic ISIS jokes.
Yeah. The typical ISIS 5-minute.
Just a whole special about ISIS.
Yeah. Well, do you talk about a lot of dating in yours, or is there a lot of other stuff too?
I do talk about, a lot of sex and dating stuff, but I also like talk about my parents. I talk about like working out. I kind of mix it up, but there is kind of like an overall, like I definitely like mention my pussy like 4 times in like a 10-minute time span. But I do try to switch it up because I think that it's, as a female comic, it's kind of like almost an easy thing pattern to fall into where you talk too much about it because it's easy. And so I've really been trying to kind of push myself to not fall back on what people expect me to talk about and what's easy. So I've been doing like really working on more jokes about like my family and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
You're like, I'd rather embarrass them.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Did you take classes for stand-up writing? Because
no.
I know we both know the Dry Ginger, and I love her, and I wish she could be on the show, but she's in Portland. But I think she took classes because she's also doing stand-up, and I'm like, do I need to take a class? Like, wouldn't know what to do.
You have to just go in it. I think it's That's the thing about stand-up is not that I'm a professional. I'm not, but it's like I realize it's just going up and talking. And it's also like doing the work and doing mics and going up and over and over and over and seeing and listening and recording yourself and seeing what people are laughing at, because what you think's funny sometimes isn't written. It just doesn't sound like it's always. I think it's that and I think the beauty of right now is you can do whatever I mean, it's a sensitive time, but you can do whatever. There's so many different types of, you go up there and no one's like formula, like bada bing, bada boom. You have to be this certain stand-up. So it's like.
Yeah.
I think where the classes come in handy are if you are uncomfortable being on stage. Like if you haven't been on stage before. I originally went to college for musical theater, and I did that for years and years. So like being on stage in front of a bunch of people is not an issue.
Right.
So, but I think for some people who want to do stand-up and are funny, but maybe like the whole doing it in front of people and being in front of people thing, I think that's where some classes can be beneficial if that's just like not an experience you have yet.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just getting up and doing it is like the best experience you can have.
Yeah. Because that will help you like refine what you're doing and make it better for the bigger shows like tonight or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there are jokes that I'll have like kind of like a throwaway line, but then for whatever reason, every time I do it, it just kills. People think it's so funny, even when I don't think it's that funny. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to keep saying this line.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with memes. I feel like memes are like, it's been going on for years. It's the same shit over and over. But once in a while, even the most like generic, like old ass just meme that's basic will still hit, right? And you're like, that was really funny, even though we've talked about like fuckboys or whatever, or being hungover, or, there's like the same things over and over. It's like just once in a while, it's like, yeah, like sometimes it's just funny. Yeah. And like you should just carry that through if that's like working for you,
Yeah. I think it is very similar. There'll be like things that you'll write or like a meme you'll make or something and be like, this is fucking hilarious. And then it
dies. Yeah.
You're like falls so flat.
Yeah. You're like, cool, just me. I thought it just funny to myself, I guess.
Yeah. Like, well, I'll laugh about this. And that's exactly the same with like your jokes doing stand up.
Yeah.
So. That's
I don't know.
Kind of a trial and error thing.
The public speaking classes, does it also, maybe this is why Lorraine did like UCB and stuff. Is it like to help you deal with like the awkward silences when there is?
UCB is completely different. It's like improv.
Oh, sorry. It is improv.
Yeah. But that's a different world where because I started doing improv when I was doing a lot of more acting stuff. And for me, it was for auditions. Like I wanted to be more comfortable, and a lot of auditions were like, freestyle, just go for it. So it's that just makes you think on your feet. But also the beginning of improv is a monologue, and that's where I was terrible at coming up with shit like left and right and continuing something, but it was like the monologue, which was fun because I could, if someone picked something out of a bucket and was like potato, I'd be like, oh, I have a potato joke that I can think of that's not a potato but reminds me of a potato. Like, so that was what made me think, oh, fuck, I want to do stand-up. Because I feel comfortable talking.
Yeah. I think either like improv or comedy writing or even an acting class, any of those things like help you get over the kind of like the stage hump of it.
Yeah. Well,
we're going to get you an open mic or something? What's going on?
Yeah.
Is this like...
We're doing it? Are we hyping you up?
Come visit me Thursday night at 8 p.m. I'm just kidding. I could never.
Yes, you could totally.
No, I couldn't. I don't think
you got like the delivery.
I have zero delivery.
I could feel like you would be a good like... just crowd work person.
Actually, it's so funny you say that because I think I'm the opposite, where I think I'd be so nervous that like that's so important, right? Like working the crowd, and you always say like reading the room and all that.
But you're always quick with some like little thing. You could try it out.
I think also though I'm also scared to offend people. Like I think I'm just like I don't want to offend people, and everything is offensive nowadays. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I could, but I'd probably piss somebody off. And then if they said something mean to me, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go home now.
The whole, it's such a, people are so sensitive about every little thing right now. Yeah. I think that you can tell pretty much any offensive joke as long as it's a really good joke. Mm-hmm. Like, as long as it's smart and funny.
Yeah.
Like, I was at a show last week where it was a female comic who I think she's hilarious, Monterey Martinez. And it was, like, rape joke, abortion joke, abuse joke, like back to back, but they were all fucking funny.
Yeah.
And like you can tell them
People
if they're good jokes, but that's the thing.
Yeah,
is, like,
if it's just
if it's hacky or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like then it's just offensive.
Right.
It's like you really have to have a well-crafted joke that isn't just
to
racist
say,
or isn't just whatever, you know?
It's not just the shock value. It's
Right,
like there's
right.
more to it. But also, too, I think even like with Dave Chappelle, his special, like he doesn't give a shit. And I think there's, even if you go to the Comedy Store and you go sit there and you watch like 10 comics, no one is being like super like they're saying whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's actually like it's coming to a point where it has been so sensitive that I think right now is a time where it feels so good to just not give a shit and just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when jokes are
So what? You should do that. You're open mic. Just
yeah, first time up and you do
Just
like
do it. Just
don't listen to anything I say.
to mind.
I'm
Just,
unqualified.
just go with it.
Don't listen to me.
Well, even like, and I don't want to like spiral this at all because this is not going to be about Trump at all, but even at the Malibu Playhouse, which was all rich as fuck white folks.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people doing Trump jokes and they were all laughing. And I was like, I would be terrified in that crowd because I came to watch you.
Anti-Trump jokes or Trump? I didn't really listen.
They were anti-Trump, yeah.
Okay.
was that Michael Schertzer's show?
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
haven't
That was my
been, but I
favorite
know
show
him.
that
Yeah.
she's
Great
ever
show.
done. It was amazing.
It was a great show. I blacked out on that show. I did. It was because that show was like it's beautiful. It's like a
it's
beautiful
amazing.
theater, and it was so many people. And I had done it was probably the biggest, nicest show I've ever done.
It was
and
legit.
Halfway through my set, I blacked out. I had never done that before. But you know what happened was. He gave me some wine, like it was like in a Dixie cup, and he was like poured it to the top. And I love wine, and I was sitting there, and I think I just like chugged it, not even knowing. So I think it was a mix of that and also just nerves. It just all of a sudden hit me. So the whole it was like did 10 minutes. The first 5 were pretty to me. It was like pretty tight. Like it was like for me, like you could tell. And then the video, the other half is very loose. Like I'm just like. But it looked natural, like, I was thinking. And it was like, no, I was thinking about what was my next joke. What the fuck am I doing?
No, they loved you.
I was like about to, when I blacked out, I was like, do I leave? Like, early? I never.
Do I call an Uber?
I've never had that experience since then and ever.
That's so funny.
But it was good. That's the video I sent for festivals.
It's my reel.
I have not booked anything
the
from
vibe
it.
in the vibe in that room and that venue was amazing the whole night.
It was nice.
It was really, really good. And it made me for somebody that doesn't do stand up that secretly wishes, it's like, oh my God, yes, this is the most rewarding thing ever. Everybody loved it, and it's like I could see why it pays off. It feels so good,
right?
I
want to do that show.
Yeah.
Did I send Michael some tape? I think I did.
He also emails a lot.
Who?
He's just always like, thank you for coming to the show. I think I accidentally subscribed.
Oh, he got you an email?
I subscribed when
You're
I
like,
was
I know
there.
Michael too.
I love him.
Yeah. I think actually the best sets I've ever had, I've been kind of lit. So,
Yeah.
This show tonight that I'm doing should be really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing part of it sober and then the last part of it lit as fuck.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You almost have to find that fine line of I'm pretty buzzed and I can still be coherent.
Right.
and
It's like
then
bowling.
Not do Lorraine, what she did in Malibu.
But you also want them to know, so it's nice that it's a show that's they know
That they know I'm gonna be
you're
fucked up.
fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
So
it'll be
usually
funny.
they're they don't know that. They're like, oh, this nice girl's just she's just fucking up
Yeah.
up there. I'm like, I'm drunk and I'm high.
I feel like every time I do comedy, it's like bowling where I'm great from 2 to 6 drinks. More than 6, can't do
Damn.
it. Less than
No.
2, can't
Yeah.
do it.
Damn.
Nope.
Like beers. I'm not talking like
Yeah,
cocktails.
okay,
I mean like
okay.
beers.
Okay.
Like 2 to 6 beers, I can bowl like a champion. 2 to 6 beers, I'm great on stage. More than 6, probably not a good time. Less than 2, I don't know.
Also different types of liquor because I was in a whiskey phase. I saw D.L. Hughley perform once with a hat and whiskey, and ever since then I got a hat and I was in the stage. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I had to. I was just like chilling, like, and I would get so hammered, and honestly, I'd just be like slurring. My friends would be like, "I think you were slurring." And I'm like, "Oh, this is not a good look. This is not." But I love that vibe. I love that old school, like, you know, the kings of comedy, like
Right.
badass.
Where you, like,
I want to be
sit
the female
down.
version and be like, "Don't fuck with me. Okay, I'm just chilling. I'm cool." Dude, that's not how I come off it anyway. I'm like, "Hi guys, I'm Lorraine."
Oh, it's so funny.
Ooh. Okay, let's talk about some Valentine's Day. Do we got some cool Valentine's plans?
have
or?
almost never. Like, I am incredibly single, so nope.
Hi guys,
As usual.
hit her up in her DMs.
Yeah.
Even
have 2
also
weeks.
though, even in like I've been married before, and we were never like big Valentine's people. I've just never been. I don't know. It's just never been like that big of a
Yeah.
deal to me.
It's a fake holiday.
Yeah, I have just never really cared that much. And then also, like, I was with my ex for like 6.5 years, and so it kind of got to be like, okay, well, I tell you I love you every single day. So yeah, he was like, well, I would get you flowers for Valentine's Day, but I got you a fucking engagement ring. So you know, I think it's clear how I feel. And then I haven't like really had a boyfriend during Valentine's Day since then. So
How
how
long has that
long
been?
ago? That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a little over 5 years ago. So
If
I
you
don't know.
nab a first date for Valentine's Day, it's funner to do Valentine's Day when you're not that serious. 'Cause,
That
like,
would be weird.
yeah.
A
Somebody will
Tinder
take-
date, just a Valentine's.
no, but I'm saying like
now I'm gonna try to.
Yeah, that would be great.
somebody will take her on a nice steak dinner. Me, like Bully, will probably be like, "What should we do? Should we walk down the street? Like, should we-
Taco Bell, Del Taco.
yeah, which
Taco
Bell. like it wears off
Yeah.
after the
Right,
years.
right.
So
Yeah. No, I don't know. One of my really good friends, it's one of my gay best friends. He and I were talking about that weekend, not on actual Valentine's Day. That weekend, there's some like big like rosé festival thing downtown. So we were like, hell yeah, that sounds great.
that sounds amazing.
That's what I
So-
usually do is a Galentine's. I'm a big on like, I don't know. I'm just excited. But I also hadn't been in a relationship for, I think it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I was in a serious relationship and it's been 5 years of just single life. So this is my first. So I'm like every day, this is the problem because I have not been in a relationship and I haven't had any serious relationships in 5 years, that every day I'm like, so Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day? What are we doing? Okay, we're doing that again, right? Okay, cool. Valentine's Day. Like, I'm a psychopath.
Yeah. I mean, I have like a couple guys that I've like gone out with a couple of times that I have been like, you're like off the hook here. Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
well, I didn't even realize what day Valentine's Day was on. But this guy that I've gone out with a couple times who lives in San Diego was like, oh, well, I'm not working that weekend. Like, I could come up. And I was like, sure. But then I
Oh, then you
realized,
didn't know?
I realized I was like, oh, and I don't
He's
think
trying to slip it in.
no, but I don't think he realized it's
I
Valentine's
think
Day
he
either.
did.
Because he was like, I know I'm busy this weekend, but not the next. It's like every other weekend, so it just kind of like fell that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I just realized I was like, oh.
Did you cancel or are you not?
No, we haven't. I mean, we haven't even talked about
Oh,
it. We'll
okay.
like cross that bridge when we get there.
yeah.
But
Please.
yeah, who knows?
We'll see.
So, and then another guy that I used to talk to lives in Florida. His birthday's on Valentine's Day. I'm randomly going to Colorado the following week, just like with a girlfriend, and we discovered we're both going to be in Breckenridge at the same time the following week.
That's fun.
So that might get
You
spicy.
have a lot of Valentine's.
I might have a
Several.
lot of Valentines.
You've got a lot of options.
I have a lot of Valentines.
So what is your type? What do you look for in a guy?
As far as like aesthetics, I like dudes that are like in good shape, hairy chest, beard. I like a long-haired man. I like mustaches.
Harry.
Yeah, like super. Like the more he
Yeah.
looks like a caveman, the more I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I could not even tell you the last time I dated a clean shaven man. Like probably my ex-husband.
Yeah.
And he even really wasn't. He was like had scruff.
Did you go
Don't
the
ever.
opposite vibe after being married to someone like after him?
Yeah, I will say guys that I date are a lot different from him, but like my friends always joke whenever I find someone that I'm like, oh, this guy's really hot, then they'll be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because also, like, they also always have to be like a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy who lives in New York that I'm like, if like we lived in the same place, I would like propose to him. He's just like the greatest thing
Yeah.
ever. He like has a scruffy beard, sometimes a mustache, lots of tattoos, super weird. He paints his nails. He has a tattoo on his thigh that says USDA Prime. And I think it's the funniest thing I have ever seen. And he's just like a weird dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's it.
You're like, I want that.
That's the one for me.
I'll take
Like
it.
fucking weird tattoos.
When you said weird dude, I was like, yeah, I think I like weird dudes too. And then the first thing that came to my mind was a guy that I dated who was like, told me, he was like, I really want to like hook up with a tranny. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, but
like
that's just like, that was like, yeah, he's weird too. But that's,
He's so quirky.
he's cool.
I mean, like, yeah, if someone has like some kind of weird edge, I'm like super into it. I can't like, there was this guy that I went on a handful of dates with who was like very normal, straight-laced. And he was super funny and cool, and I enjoyed going out with him, and he always like took me on nice dates and stuff. But it was like there was never going to be anything exciting there. Mm-hmm. But I kind of thought like, well, I'm such a like wild person. I kind of like fly by the seat of my pants at all times. Maybe I need somebody that's like got a normal job and like shit like that. But I was like, no, that's never gonna work. I gotta be with someone who's like who keeps things interesting.
I don't even know who could handle you. I'm trying to imagine somebody that I know personally.
I have no idea.
I don't I feel like. Also, I feel it takes the most secure person.
Yeah,
ever.
100%. I fully recognize that it takes a very secure man to be like totally cool with the main way I make money by getting naked for randos on the internet. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
you have to be super secure with that.
I wrote this meme that went nowhere because I post on Twitter. Okay, so do you post on Twitter first as like a gauge of like,
Yeah.
hey, how many people like this? I
Yeah.
literally have like 1,000 followers. Like I have nothing. But I'm always like, okay, if that gets like 8 likes on Twitter, that's good. But I posted one about like, oh, like who's buying lingerie for girls on Valentine's Day anymore? But I feel like somebody would buy you lingerie and you would like rock it.
Is that a bad thing?
No, who could take a stab in the dark and buy me lingerie that I could wear? Not even Bully could do that, and I've known it for a decade.
I feel like I bought you lingerie before.
Oh, sorry.
Like, wait, hold on.
Men, like the sizes. My ex-husband tried to like he tried to buy me lingerie one time, and he bought me like a small or something. I was like, that's very sweet. That's sweet. Really sweet, but I have not been a small since I was 17. So I don't know what part of my body you think is small.
Yeah,
and then he bought, I think, like a bra that was like a C cup or something. I was like, that's cute. I'm like a full double D. Like I was like, what are you doing here, bud?
I think that's risky. It's also I finally have been seeing memes about like don't buy girls heart-shaped jewelry.
No. Oh my God, it's so disgusting.
Yes.
I'm like the worst. I'm like, a heart necklace? Why not?
Oh,
no.
you're sweet. Like you're sentimental.
When they have those like commercials for like a heart-shaped diamond ring, I'm like, ugh, gross.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. Yeah, I love that shit.
I remember.
Is this your cup or is this one your cup?
This one's my cup.
Oh, sorry, I meant to like give you that.
I remember
Yeah, is there
telling
enough?
Oh, I remember telling my ex-husband also that if he ever got me a Pandora bracelet, I would divorce him.
A Pandora bracelet? What's that?
It's like ugly ass jewelry store, and they're like silver, and they have like these little charms.
Oh.
It's big in England still.
Yeah.
English.
Have you gotten one of those?
No, luckily
No.
he somehow, it's in tune with that like don't get me.
Martha's husband is English.
Yeah.
He's an Englishman.
But I do have a friend that got I don't even know if it was heart shaped or if it was like infinity shaped or something that's like
heart-shaped stuff's in style right now, guys.
It has to be. It can't be fine jewelry.
No, that's right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It can
fine
be
jewelry.
like costume jewelry that's like very like
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
That's cute, but like fine jewelry, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picturing like a sterling silver heart with like 3 diamonds on the heart.
yeah,
Like,
no.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not doing that.
Ugly.
But what I was saying is I have a friend that got that and she like made her husband feel so bad about it.
Oh my god.
I think at the time they were not married, but like I felt so bad for the guy. Like I would still play along if somebody got that for me.
Sure.
Or would I?
Yeah, I mean, be like, thanks.
I don't know what I would do.
I like, that was my ex. I only wear gold jewelry, and he got me like a silver necklace with something on it, and I was like, I'm never gonna wear this.
Aw.
Oh, and it had like a gemstone, like my birthstone
Pandora.
on it.
There you guys go, right there.
It's so ugly. It's so ugly.
Wow, how did I not know of this?
Oh.
So there's a whole Pandora store.
That's not my
There's
style.
There's there's a whole Pandora store.
There's stores and each charm
Terrible.
you can go buy individually. I think.
But if you want to sponsor this podcast,
Pandora.
Then
Pandora.
We love Pandora.
I'll sit here with like 7 Pandora bracelets.
yes, totally okay with that.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about.
But what is the worst gift you've gotten from a man before? That's a cool question.
Well, oh my god, okay. Number one worst gift I ever got from a man was an ex-boyfriend gave me chlamydia. So that was a
That's
terrible
not cool.
gift.
That's the
That was a
worst.
terrible gift.
Yeah, I hate that gift.
He cheated on me and gave me that. That was not a nice gift.
No.
But second worst, my ex-husband, we'd been together for 4 years, and I was like, all right, like, I'm ready. When is this fucking happening? And like people had been kind of dropping hints and stuff, and I was like, okay, it's happening. So Christmas comes, and I noticed there aren't like a lot of gifts, and I was like under our tree and stuff. I was like, okay, all right, it's happening because it's small. It's gonna be a small box, like whatever. So I'm like opening there's like a couple random like kitchen things that I had mentioned I needed or whatever, like stupid. And then he like hands me another box, and I was like, okay, it was bigger than what a ring box would be, but I was like, maybe he's being cute. And I opened it, and it was like my big present was a blender. No. And I was like,
He exhaled
He's feeling
very
it. Tell
loudly.
her it is not.
I was just like,
he knows what's up.
a blender after 4 years.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
So are they for engagement margaritas or what? You fucking idiot. And then I like didn't speak to him the rest of the day. I was so mad, and I almost broke up with him. And like to the point where like I was being such a bitch for like 2 days, almost broke up with him. And like to get me to not break up, he was like, I was planning this whole thing. I was going to propose to you later. And like he like proposed to me. I was like, oh, well, okay. But the engagement ring was kind of ugly.
Yeah.
And so I wound up later like talking to him and being like, hey, I really fucking hate this ring. Can we get a different one?
How does that
Oh
work?
my gosh,
if you can
I
just
love
return
that.
it, like how does that? Does anyone know?
He had like
know.
it was like pretty shortly after, and he had like a warranty
Oh,
or
okay. Oh,
insurance.
good.
He had insurance on it or something,
Yeah.
whatever. But we wound up fixing that.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of. It was one of those situations that, in retrospect, that I look back and like he never like took the time to actually figure out anything that I like ever, because he
Yeah.
always got me things that were like a nice gesture, but like something
Totally
that I
not.
couldn't stand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that. I feel like the pressure to buy the perfect ring unless you're sending them links and like
Did you
pictures.
send
Right.
bully links?
I can't honestly. My memory's so bad.
I'm sure you send them links.
Or like
right?
have them. A
know.
dude should consult his like girlfriend's friends. Be like,
yeah.
what
Maybe
would
he
she
did
like?
that. I can't
You
remember.
know?
Yeah.
Because I know my girlfriends would be like, okay, this is what she likes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or like
Yeah.
my best friend, her boyfriend's been like designing a ring and stuff, and he absolutely didn't do it without any
Right.
consultation, you know? And she knows that he's designing the rings. It's not like
Okay.
spoiler alert or anything. She's well aware that it's happening. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's like important to consult your girl's friends.
Yeah. I feel like I have I'm not good at thoughtful gifts either, so when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know why it's so hard to be thoughtful with gifts. Like for me, I think like I'd be hard to shop for because I'm not like passionate about anything. I'm not like obsessed with anything. But like for people who are like obsessed with like a team or like, you know,
Right.
comedy or an actor or I don't know, are just into like DIY homes. Like I don't do anything. I literally have no passions and no hobbies. I'm the worst kind of human. But like I'm also even worse because I'm not good at like thoughtful gifts. Whereas like you're saying, like he never knew what to get you.
Yeah.
Even though maybe you exhibited like, oh, I love this and I love that. But like he just didn't think.
I'm pretty good at giving thoughtful gifts. I think I'm probably hard to shop for too, though, because I don't like stuff. Like I don't ever want anyone to give me a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to give me something, like take me somewhere.
Yeah,
Or
me
like an
too.
experience. Like I don't give one shit about stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where it's going, though. I feel like I read that a lot. Is like our generation, which is Gen Z. Just kidding. We're like
I
one before that.
turned 21.
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
like,
married really young.
I'm
from the South.
I'm a 2000s baby. I feel like we all want experiences. Now.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
don't want
That is the best gift.
Yeah.
I know for my dad, for I think Father's Day, his favorite stuff, like my brother just took him to get like a painting class with like wine,
That's so cute.
which he raves about, and now he's gone to so many classes. He has a bunch of them. He wants to sell his art. He doesn't know that that's like a reproduction of art that of a million. It's everywhere. He has no idea.
That is so cute.
But I got him a Groupon. It's all about Groupons, guys.
Groupon smart, yeah.
But I took him to get like a gun range, and he till this day talks about it. So
Yeah.
it really is about the experiences.
It is about experiences. Also, I think that that's true of like when you are in a place where you have like disposable income, because it's like, well, if there's a thing that I want, I'll just go buy it. Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
And it's also about this spending the time with a person, because
Yeah.
make time is so valuable. That's the most valuable gift that you can give someone is like, I'm going to spend the day with you, and we're going to do this really fun thing together that we've never done.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Like, a couple of my like best girlfriends don't live here, and so I don't get to see them that often. So like for birthdays and stuff, we make sure we like go on a trip together, go see each other, because that's just like way more valuable
Yeah.
than like buying her a thing that she could go to Nordstrom and buy for herself.
Yeah.
True.
I feel like you've been to every US state there is.
No,
Just
not all of
following your
them.
Instagram. I'm like, she's in Chicago today? Oh, okay, she's in Miami tomorrow? Okay, cool.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. Yeah, I am really.
What is your
impulsive.
favorite like place to visit?
That's a hard call. Well, probably my favorite trip that I've ever been on, as like basic Instagram bitch as it sounds, is Tulum. But Tulum's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that sounds
I'm going
fun.
back at the end of March, and I can't wait. I went for my birthday last year with like my 4 best friends.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And so I'm going back with my best friend again at the end of March. It's pretty beautiful and rad.
Yeah.
So I absolutely loved it.
Go ahead.
No, my question.
No, because I'm going to go a different route.
Oh, no, you go then.
Well, how is it like? So you were married for how long?
We were together total for 6.5 years.
So how does your life from then to now, is it changed? Were you doing any of this stuff before, like comedy or memes, or is this all after the fact?
It's been all after. I mean, my life is 1,000,000% different.
And what were you doing when you were with him? Like, what was your life? Like,
It
what
was
your-
very like domestic, and we both lived in Austin, where I'm from, where we both lived our whole lives. We, went to high school together.
Yeah,
We wound
wow.
up. We didn't date in high school, but we wound up running into each other as adults and started dating from then. And like, I mean, I've known him more than half my life at this point. And it was just like a very basic. I worked for a beer wholesaler. I worked in the beer industry for like 6 years. And it was very kind of basic and normal. And I hate to say boring because it's boring to me, but for him, he was so happy with that kind of life.
Yeah.
Like, and that was where things really like went. I am not the kind of person that will ever be satisfied with that type of life, but lots of people will, and that's fine. Like, it's, it's just not for everybody. And like my lifestyle would probably stress him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, where it's kind of like I don't have a day-to-day or a salary or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's how I do feel like when I wasn't married, but being in a long relationship and having that kind of, I was cooking dinners, okay? But I do feel like my life changed so much after I was out of it that I really got to like shine and do the stuff that I wanted to do and live the way and not feel like a stress, because I always did feel like when I was with him, like, I'm supposed to get to this place at one point. I have to do this or I have to do. But now it's like more about like what makes me happy. What is I don't live like that. I live chaotically in a way of that displeases me.
And I think it's important to find, if you want a partner and like you're married, I think it's important to find a partner who, whichever lifestyle that you want to be living, that they are supportive and on board with that same lifestyle. So whether it's, a very kind of basic, regular, 9-to-5er life, or if it's like a, hey, I'm gonna go do this with my friends, or hey, let's go on this random trip, or hey, just kind of like live in chaos.
Yeah.
As long as you're on the same page, like.
Yeah. I've been really lucky because I do work the pathetic 9-to-5 that you speak of. It sucks. It sucks a little bit of my soul away every day. But Bully's really cute because I always say, like, I look at you guys and I'm like, oh my God, like they're doing stand-up. They are like living their passion. They like live every day doing their own content and they're creating, and they get to feel that connection with, like what it feels like to create something, which is so lame to talk about in the meme sense, but it's cool to feel like I created that. They like it. We're chatting about it. There's a million comments. Like, I love that, and if I could like bottle it up and like somehow make that make sense for my like job, I would die to do that.
Right. Yeah.
And so he'll say things like, well, if like you want to like quit your job and like we just eat through our savings and you try to do something for a year where it's like all just like content or stand up or whatever, like we can do that. And I'm like,
that's amazing.
But I'm also so lame that I'd be too terrified to do
that.
Well,
but it's so awesome, like, to have that support.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Like that it's
more
an
about
option.
Him. Yeah.
That it's
like he's so supportive.
Right. That, like, it's an option.
Like, he's not pissed off that you have this dream, like, this idea. Like, he's not, it's not negative.
Right.
No.
That's amazing.
No, it's amazing. And he's never once, like, not that I say anything crazy. I'm not Meredith, like, but he's never once been like, that meme, like, embarrassed me or, like, that was, please don't talk about that, or not, like, he doesn't have Instagram. That's a part of it.
Well, that's helping.
yeah, that helps. But like, I just could never feel like I was being like censored, you know? But, so that's, I think I'm lucky in that way.
Yeah.
But
sure.
It's like, I would, the 9-to-5, it's tough. It's a tough gig.
It is. It is.
So don't do it. I wouldn't advise to go for that. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to depress everybody.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap up. But let's maybe. What was I gonna maybe like, do you have a life lesson that you want to share, or first job story that's good?
I think I can repeat the life lesson that's been going around during this time with the death of Kobe, which
there we go.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like today I think is the first day I've not cried over him and Gianna, so I feel good about that. But it's just to hug your loved ones and live every day like it could be your last, and
Yeah, I mean, don't take any opportunities or anything about your life for granted. Don't take people for granted. Yeah. Don't take experiences for granted, whether they're negative or positive. Just everything that you do shapes who you are, and every person you come in contact with is valuable. So,
yeah, no, I love that.
yeah.
See, you are motivational.
Oh my God. I'm like crying. Like,
Hair tissue.
Every dick you suck teaches you something.
you're always gonna get it.
Every nude you
It's
sell.
gonna take you to the. It's gonna take you bigger and better, guys. Right? Stay positive out there.
Stay positive.
Do you want to put out your Instagram handle, all your stuff? Anything
Yeah.
you have to want to promote?
My Instagram is Meredith. Actually, my Twitter is the Meredith. And I don't have anything scheduled right now show-wise, but I always post all of my shows and stuff on my socials.
Sounds good. And I just want to close out by saying I have a show that I'm producing February 19th at Antonio's. Yes, I got Kate Quigley coming. I have Alex Thomas, Betsy Cox. I'm so excited. There's going to be a party afterwards. So come check it out if you want to see some stand-up. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.